Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Inside the Vinyl. I'm your host, Tim Bianconi. If you would, go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel below. That would be greatly appreciated. If you could also hit that notification bell so you can be notified anytime I put out new material, that would be appreciated also. So this time, I'm going to dip back into my Lost Classics series and talk about a band that I've been a fan of for over 20 years, and that would be Queens of the Stone Age. And we're going to discuss their 2007 album, Era Vulgaris. So again, this was released on June 12th, 2007. It was recorded between July 2006 and April of 2007. It was originally released on Interscope, which I think is also here. And it was produced by Josh Homme and Chris Goss. It reached as high as number 14 on the US charts and number 7 on the UK charts, and currently has never been certified gold or platinum. And this particular issue right here was one I picked up on Amazon a couple of years ago. Now, I did not know it was in this smaller size variety here. I'm not entirely sure what you would call that. I'll try to look it up and put a correction down below. I was really hoping to get like a normal size one, which I have seen. But, you know, it is what it is. And it's kind of cool that I've got this interesting 3-record edition of this album. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. All right, so here we go. Queens of the Stone Age, Era Vulgaris. I'm assuming this is in mono since it has a little thing right here that says you have mono. So, you know, I'm assuming this is mono and not stereo. So let's see. And then if we turn it over, we see the track listing as well as some liner notes as far as who produced and whatnot. All right. So let's go ahead and open up this. Well, there's a lot to kind of take in here. So, you know, if we open up the first gatefold, you can see over here it's got a listing of the band members. And then over here, it's got record number 1. And then if I open it up fully, not really sure what that is in the middle, but you've got 3 different slots for the 3 different records. All right. So that's kind of neat right there. You know, you get to see the band members as well as all the liner notes and everything. And if I'm not mistaken, this particular issue of this album was released in conjunction, it says Interscope, but it was also in conjunction with Ipecac Recordings, which I think is Mike Patton's label, Mike Patton from Faith No More. So let's go ahead and take a look at record number 1. You know, if I pull this out, again, this is kind of neat. You know, it was a little annoying because, you know, you only get like 2 songs and you got to switch the sides. So, you know, I sometimes get a little bit annoyed with all the 2-record sets for like a 12-song album because you have to flip the record every 3 songs or so. But this one's even worse because you have to flip it every 2 songs or so. But it's still, like I said, it's still kind of a cool addition to the collection to have, records this size. And again, I'm not really sure what this is called. I know I have an Alice Cooper set that's this size as well. But it's bigger than like it's bigger than a 45, so I don't really know what you would call this. All right, so, nothing too special there. Like I'm saying, I'm sure the rest of these will just be pretty much the same, just with different stickers. So there's side C, there's side D. All right. All right, well, this is fun. Everybody watching me, stumble through this album set. All right, here we go. Whoops. Here's E, and there's side F. So again, a total of 6, 3 records, 6 sides to this particular version of this album. So let me see if I can get this reassembled here. All right. Let's see if we can get this all done. Get this back together. All right. So if I still have any viewers after putting you through all of that, let's talk about this album for a bit. Like I said, triple gatefold. The size is a little weird. It does play at 45 RPMs if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. Again, if I'm wrong, I'll put a correction down below. So the reviews on this album were ranging anywhere from mixed reviews to positive reviews. I remember one review at the time when the album first came out saying that, this was the best rock album of 2007 and was hopefully going to be the album that would save rock and roll for hard rock. I don't know if it did that, but, it was wishful thinking for what I think is a really cool album. Apparently, the songs were inspired by Josh Homme's drive through Hollywood, so that's kind of interesting. And to me, the sound is very retro. It's got some very crunchy guitar sounds. It's even got some electronic elements in it. But to me, still kind of has a bit of a retro sound, but still very modern. Still very, I don't know if you could really call it progressive alternative or whatever. But still has all the elements that make Queens of the Stone Age albums amazing. The quirkiness, the weirdness, there's a lot of really trippy elements and things like that on this particular album. It starts right off the bat, Turning on a Screw. It's a really, really trippy song. Back in the days when I used to get high, I used to get high and listen to that song, and I could just totally just totally zone out on that tune. Sick, 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 which was the single release from the album. Really great song, really fast, really fun. And then we go into Misfit Love, which is cool. Battery Acid. There's a song called Make It Wit Chu, which I don't know if you guys can hear it playing in the background. I honestly thought that should have been a massive hit. I do remember it getting some radio play, and I do remember seeing them actually play it on MTV with Grohl on drums. But I actually thought that should have been a massive hit. That's just a really cool song, really catchy, kind of ballady, but kind of not. And then we go into like Suture Up Your Future, River in the Road, Run Pig Run. This is just a great, great album. I don't know that I would put it quite as high on my list as, say, Songs for the Deaf. But definitely probably at best my second, maybe third favorite Queens of the Stone Age album, because it's really hard to really knock off anything of their first three albums. Those first three albums are pretty iconic, pretty awesome. But definitely this is right up there with probably their debut and Rated R for me. Just a great, great record. And then since then, I will say I've been a fan of Queens of the Stone Age for 20 plus years. And like I say, their first three records are great. And then after that, they've kind of turned into an every other album band. Like they had, I can't remember the name of the album they had in 2005 or whatever. Wasn't a huge fan of that. That was one that had like Little Sister and some other stuff. I don't remember the name of the album. Wasn't a huge fan of that. Then this one came out, and I love this album. Love it to this day. Then in 2013, they put out Like Clockwork, which I wasn't a huge fan of. And then they brought it back around for me again in 2017 with Villains. I thought that was a really cool record. So again, Queens of the Stone Age. I really thought back in 2002 this was going to be the band that revolutionized rock as it happened in every decade up until then. Unfortunately, the last real musical revolution we've seen in rock music, or even rap for that matter, was back in the early 90s, 1991, 92, and there really hasn't been anything that really, reset or, reinvented everything, unfortunately. I thought this might be the band that would do it. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way, but it doesn't mean their albums, including this one, aren't still just absolutely magnificent. So check it out, Queens of the Stone Age, Era Vulgaris, another album I don't think you will be disappointed in, and in my opinion, truly, truly, truly a lost classic. That's all I've got for you this time. Again, if you would go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel below, that would be appreciated. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified of new material. I've got some other things out on my channel. I've got the rest of my Inside the Vinyl series where we talk about other lost classics or albums that I think are lost classics. We also talk about live albums in that series. I've got my Unboxing the Vinyl series where we talk about reissues, new albums, box sets, special editions, whatever, etc., etc. Sometimes it's even CDs like you see in some of these box sets behind me. I've got some live footage from some festivals, Exit 111, Welcome to Rockville, some Kiss footage, some more things coming down the pike. And last but not least, if you're into disc golf, I've got some mediocre disc golf videos starring some mediocre players, myself included. So again, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Peace out. There you go, boy.